In China, the Year of Dragon has started. It's a creature considered most auspicious in Chinese zodiac. It represents power, strength, leadership. Well, what an irony. Because the Chinese leadership is becoming the ultimate despot. And here's why I say this. In 2023, nearly a dozen business executives in China have disappeared unceremoniously. Where, how, why, we don't know. And Beijing will not tell. But it is a pattern worth noting. It's a pattern that cannot be ignored. Now, imagine yourself as a board member in a publicly listed company. You have certain obligations. You have to keep shareholders informed. You have to safeguard the corporate finances, assets. You have to help the company define its major goals. But what happens when your boss suddenly disappears, goes off the radar completely, without so much as saying goodbye? What do you do? What do you tell your investors? We don't know where our chairman is. Can you actually say that? Isn't it strange, awkward? How do you tell your investors that you have lost contact with your chairman? What happens then? Surely a nightmare. It can leave the board in a state of disarray. It can lead to lost confidence in the company, to say the least. It can lead to a collapse in the share prices. It can put the entire company's future at risk. Well, this is happening in China. Such cases have become commonplace, in fact. So common that the state-owned newspaper, Securities Times, had to advise board directors dealing with CEO disappearances. The advice goes like this: don't be shy when it comes to disclosing these matters. That advisory was issued in November last year. It was a reminder to companies: you must keep investors informed at all times, even if it means that your top executive is MIA, missing in action. Last year, at least 11 listed Chinese companies have reportedly been forced to put out such disclosures. You see, when a Chinese company reports a missing boss, it is assumed that they have been detained by the police. And why is that? Because the Communist Party regime is deepening its control over the Chinese economy. Just take a look at the pattern here. Earlier this month, Chinese banking tycoon Bao Fan resigned as chairman and chief executive of a company called China Renaissance Holdings. And what's strange is not the fact that he resigned. What is strange is that his resignation follows Bao's unexplained disappearance a year ago. So after a year of being missing, Bao sort of resurfaced only to resign from his roles. Let me tell you a little bit about Bao Fan. First, his company said it had lost contact with Bao. Then they stated that he was cooperating with an investigation that was being carried out by Chinese authorities. Exactly which agency was conducting this probe and on what charges was not made clear. It still isn't. That disappearance happened last year. It had shocked China's business and investing community. And now, a year later, during a filing on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, Bao's company informed that he has stepped down. They cited health reasons for his resignation. They clarified that there was no feud or disagreement with the board. Bao Fan was going to spend more time on with his family. No other detail was provided about Bao's decision or his whereabouts. Isn't that a bit strange? He was one of China's most high-profile bankers. He was a well-connected banker at Morgan Stanley and Credit Suisse before he founded China Renaissance in 2004. The firm invested in many of China's most successful tech companies and helped them go public in Hong Kong and New York. What happened to him? Where is he now? Again, we don't know. There is no clarity. And his disappearance raises concern. It's relevant because his absence coincides with a broader crackdown on China's financial sector. You see, China announced plans to revamp its financial regulatory system. Under this revamp, most of China's financial sectors would be under the control of a new financial regulatory authority. In short, President Xi Jinping is deepening his control over the Chinese economy. And so naturally, disappearances raise questions and concerns. And at this rate, it's looking like China has become a risky space for its business tycoons. The lengthy list of Chinese executives going missing also includes Alibaba founder Jack Ma. He disappeared in 2020 after criticizing regulators. He reappeared in early 2021 and then last year was spotted at a company event. And by now, it's a fact well known. China has targeted financial firms as part of its effort to rein in companies and executives. They do this in the name of bolstering national security. Over the past year, Chinese authorities have targeted and raided several firms with foreign ties. In November last year, China's Ministry of State Security said it was a staunch guardian of financial security. In an article on the ministry's WeChat page, the agency laid out 10 actions that could raise suspicion under China's counter-espionage law. Last year, a revision to this law broadened the definition of what constitutes spying, and this has sparked fresh concerns. Workers at foreign companies in China could be swept up for taking part in normal business activities like collecting information about industries or competitors. As China's economy slows down, it wouldn't be an exaggeration then to assume that more Chinese businesses will likely see their bosses go missing. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.